Hi, welcome back to Change Agent Careers YouTube channel. I am your hostess with the mostest, Wendy Nolan, head coach here at Change Agent Careers. I am going to start a new video series today, and I'm going to be talking to you about risk tolerance in career change. So I have people who often come to me and they're really unsure about whether or not they are really equipped to make a career change. And so what I do is I kind of run through a risk tolerance assessment with them. First of all, what I want to make sure that you take into account are several things that may be going on that you're not quite aware of. And this is based on my experience of coaching hundreds of people over the past 6 years. You know, when there's a career change question in our mind, it really involves a couple of different things. It could be just a gut reaction because you just had a really bad experience at work that day, or it was the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back, that colleague that does something really annoying, did something really annoying again today, and just kind of drove you over the edge. So what I do when I'm talking to prospects and potential new clients is I really get them to take some time to think through a couple of things so that they aren't just making a knee-jerk reaction, so that they're not spending a whole lot of money with me when in fact they find out that it was just a gut reaction. So when I'm talking with someone, I want them to think about their career differently. And what I mean by that is, for those of us that are of the slightly older generation, I don't want to categorize what is old or older, but if you were born in the 60s or 70s or later or earlier than that, then I would say that you probably are in the category of people who were encouraged to go to school for certain reasons. And by school, I mean college. And when those of us of that generation were encouraged to go to college, the reason was because we were encouraged to pick a career and then wrap ourselves around that career. And a lot of the clients that I work with are around my age, in the same generation, Generation X, and they're coming to me because they've done just that. They've tried to wrap themselves around their career. And what has happened is there's been a misalignment and there's ultimately been a disconnect. And they've decided that they are no longer in alignment with that career, or that career is really, truly no longer in alignment with who they are. So what I recommend that my clients do is turn it around. I say, honor who you are. Really get clear on what's important to you and what you want your career to do for you, and then wrap your career around you. Because who you are by this point in your life is foundational, and it's not going to change. Unless, of course, there's always exceptions. But we won't get into that right now. So make sure that you're honoring yourself and wrapping your career around who you are. What does that mean? Well, you have to take into account your decision-making models. Sometimes, as I just mentioned, we make decisions and we choose career paths based on external forces that are not really of our choosing. So if you've been engaging in that kind of a decision-making model, it's time to maybe replace that decision-making habit or pattern with a new, more effective pattern that honors who you are. Next, you have to take into account your attitudes about work. And is it just a short-term attitude, or has it become a long-term attitude, depending on how long you've been in your career? And is that attitude really how you see the world of work, or is that based on your current situation? Next are your values. Values are a huge part of selecting a career path, because who we are at our core, the things that are non-negotiable and absolutely anchored in our being, aren't really going to change. Therefore, if a career is not in alignment with your values, it's not going to fit, and you're going to end up changing careers again. Next is your personality, right? How we interact with the world around us, our personality characteristics, is really important when we're looking at a career path. If you're the really gregarious, sociable, outgoing person, and then you find yourself in a job or a role that keeps you quite isolated, that's not really going to work for your personality. That's a really broad generalization and a very easy one to illustrate, but that's what I mean. Really take into account who you are and your personality, And that career path that you choose has to work with your personality. And then another thing to look at are your hobbies and interests, right? What are the things that you like to do outside of work? What feeds your passion? What feeds your drive and your ambition? And it's important to know that so that we make sure that we are not treading on those hobbies and interests. A lot of times people want to turn their hobby or interest into a career, and then guess what? It becomes a job, and it's no longer something that they love. So we have to be really careful about that. So break the pattern of being in the spin cycle, of being in a career that you're not in alignment with or that is not in alignment with you, and then assess your tolerance for risk. Just like when you're talking to a financial advisor about your tolerance for risk in investing, I have to have the same conversation with my potential new clients and new clients about their tolerance for risk and find out just how much risk they're able to handle in considering what the next step is in their career journey. So come back for the next step in the series where we're going to be discussing the 4 different types of career transition and the risks associated with each of those. That's it for today. Thanks for joining me here at Change Agent Careers. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button below. If you're on my website and watching this video, then please subscribe to my blog posts and you'll receive a weekly email from me with whatever the wandering thoughts of Coach Wendy Nolan are. All right, have a great one. Be super successful today, and we'll see you again.